You're welcome to PSLE Max. Let's look at some of the tips and tricks for PSLE exam this year 2020. 1 month before the exam, solve as many problems as possible. Concentrate on the topics that you are less confident in and work out more on those topics. Practice on topics which are relevant for this year. Topics like volume from P5 level are still included in this year's PSLE exam. Practice a question paper every alternative day or at least twice a week. Each paper would take about 2.5 hours. So, time your paper accordingly as if you are writing the exam at home. Other days, allocate 45 minutes to 1 hour for maths to go through the incorrect answers from the question papers, learn to do them correctly, and redo other problems which are of similar types so that you don't repeat the same mistakes again. The next topic is the instrument check. Check your calculator, make sure your calculator has battery and is working fine. Make sure the markings on the protractor, ruler are not faded. Protractor and rulers are not cracked or broken. Then check your answers. Not only during your exams but at home too. The practice of checking your answers starts from home each time you do a paper. It cannot come into practice suddenly at the exam hall. So each time you do a problem, a single problem or a full paper, get into the habit of a quick check right after each answer. And finally, once after the full paper is completed. That will greatly reduce the careless mistakes done by students. So, how to check? So, now let's see how to check the paper. Booklet A and B, as and when you complete working out each question, read the question again quickly to make sure you're answering to the question and mark them correctly. Booklet A for the MCQs, check each question number 1 to 1 while marking on the OA sheet. Do not bulk shade 4 or 5 ovals at a time. Mark them one by one. For booklet B, check your working. Before turning in the paper, make sure all the questions are answered. Now coming to paper 2, read the question. Read the problem statement carefully and make sense of each sentence. Convert them into mathematical expressions for better understanding. Do not read the complete worded problem at a stretch like an English paragraph. That will not help you understand what is given and what is asked. Instead, read part by part and make sense of it. So, when it comes to problem sums, make sure the information given in the problems are converted to the same units before working out. Most problems can be solved in multiple methods. Stick to the method that you are most confident with, even if it requires a few extra steps. Any method is acceptable as long as it is correct and you show your working. Before writing the final answer, read again the last sentence on the problem sum and make sure you're answering to the question. For example, if the problem sum is asking for the number of marbles Larry had at first, do not give Harry's number of marbles. Reread the last question. Most problem sums can be checked substituting the answer back in the question to make sure your answer is correct. Please check that. Finally, do not forget to write the units wherever it is relevant. For example, mass can be kilograms or grams. Height, length, or distance would be meters, centimeters, or kilometers. Volume could be in cc, ml, or liters. Dollar sign for money problems. And for angles, the degree symbol. We will have a part 2 of this video for tips and tricks, chapter by chapter for final revising. Meanwhile, enjoy doing mathematics.